Good afternoon. May God bless each and every one of you. Got this one titled, It Is What It Is, or Is It? I was talking to a young man last night about the internet, about meeting people online. And I tried to explain to this young fellow that not everything that's on the internet is what it is, or is what it says it is. And I got to thinking about when I was coming home from work last night, how many kids we got on the internet, and young men and women, boys and girls, that take everything for face value. Not everything is what it says it is. And as I was trying to explain to this young fella, don't walk off into a holler or alley that you can't climb back out of or walk back out of. Just because it looks pleasant to the eye, don't always make it right or safe. Many of our young girls and boys are being abducted, sold into sex slavery and other stuff. As I tried to explain to this young fella, just because it shows a picture of a pretty girl don't mean it's a girl on the other side. It's very easy to get a bunch of pictures together, make a Facebook, and then go out and start meeting people. That's how many of our children and young adults go missing, is because of stuff like that. Don't give your information out. I don't care how long you've been talking to them. If you don't know them personally, don't give none of your personal information out. It's not worth it. It's very easy for them to find you, abduct you, haul you off somewhere, and then you're never seen again. Many young girls and boys thought that they were meeting another young boy or girl, but when they got there, they found out too late, and they haven't been seen again. I just felt led to talk to the youngins. Don't give your personal information out. Don't share your personal life, where you live, your phone number, or anything like that with somebody you don't truly know. It don't make no difference how long you've been talking to them on the internet, because that's part of their goal, is to win your trust. That's part of their goal, is to get you to drop your guard down. There's many people out there are sick, perverted, and deprived minds that get a thrill out of hurting other people. Be careful. That's what I'm trying to tell you, just like I try to tell this young man. I tried to tell him I don't know how many times. Just because you seeing a picture of a young girl, good-looking girl, don't mean that's what's on the other side. Well, I seen the pictures. I seen the pictures. I seen the pictures. I've talked to her, Have you talked to her on the phone? No, she don't like talking on the phone. Well, that right there ought to give you a red alert. If a girl or guy is interested in you, then they'll talk to you on the phone to where you can hear their voice. But be careful with that one too, because that one can be very deceitful and just totally dangerous with someone you don't truly know. But what I was trying to explain to this young fellow, it's very easy to grab up a bunch of pictures and throw them together and make a Facebook. That's how they scam people. That's how that they mislead people and get them to do stuff that normally they wouldn't do. I've had many elderly friends tell me that they lost several thousands of dollars because somebody said they had this amount, and if they would send them this amount, and then next thing you know, they're saying, well, the lawyers can't send it. We got to have a little more money to get this. It's a scam. It's a hoax. If it sounds too good to be true, then believe me, it's too good to be true. Don't fall for the pyramid scam neither. I started off with this amount, you started off with that amount, we'll get these and we'll get them and we'll get... That's a scam too. But, as I try to tell the young man, don't walk off into the woods, don't walk off into a holler, or that you can't climb back out of a holler. Us country folk know what a holler is. It's a place down in the woods or down in the mountains, a valley, or as some say, don't walk off into a dark alley blindfolded. You may not come back out. Don't let somebody, just because they're being polite to you, mislead you. Don't let somebody that just because they're being nice to you and they talk to you a few minutes today, a few minutes later on down in the week and stuff, and you get comfortable enough, be careful. That's their angle. That's their scam. As I try to tell this young man, I'm hoping for the best for the young fella. I hope it is a pretty young lady that he's talking to. I hope it is one that he'll eventually get to meet and hook up with. But I've learned through the years, and it was even before I even got on Facebook, that a lot of times somebody that won't be direct and to the point with you, or won't come out of hiding, so to speak. They're going to hide behind the camera. They're going to hide behind the phone. They're going to hide behind the internet. They always got something they got to do that they can't meet you. Be careful. Be very careful. Now, I'm not saying everybody's this way. Don't get me wrong. Well, Brother B, he ain't trying to put nobody down. He just wanting to warn the young ones, as well as the old ones. Be careful. Because there's a lot of deprived people out there that get pleasure out of hurting other people. Physically, mentally, verbally. And it's not right. But they do it and they get away with it. Don't let people talk you into doing stuff that you normally wouldn't do. Somebody says, well, you meet me at a certain time, certain place, but don't tell nobody. Don't do it. If you don't know that person for sure, And I'm not talking just because you've been talking to them over the internet for years. If you've never actually met that person, don't do it. You may not come back. Many have gone missing that way. They've been sold off into sex stuff. They've been hyped up on drugs, or they've just been flat out killed. Now, don't think Brother Belcher's this way. I'm not. I'm just trying to give some friendly advice like I tried to do last night, and I couldn't get that young man to understand. Just because you see the pictures don't mean that's what's on the other side of that Facebook or that camera. Be careful. That's the point I'm trying to make, is be careful. Don't let somebody talk you into sending pictures of yourself to them, especially nude ones. There's nothing good that's going to come out of that. I know there's a lot of them will say, well, you know, we've been talking and we've been this and we've been that. You know, don't fall for that scam. Don't. There's many grown men as well as women that will pervert you in that way. Don't let them. Take the time to think. Put your hormones and your emotions in neutral and get your brain out of neutral. Put your hormones and your emotions into neutral. But take your brain out of neutral and use it. It may save your life. Not everything that's on the internet is what it says it is or who it says it is. There's many out there that's perverted. There's many out there that get pleasure out of hurting people. They think it's funny. There's many that will scam people out of their money because they're too lazy to get up and go get a job. They'll put more effort into cheating somebody out of their money and lying to them than they would to go get a job and actually work. It's sad to say, but that's the way it is. We're living in perverted times. We're living in troublesome times. We're living in perilous days. They're not coming. They're here. I got so much I want to say, but I don't want to overstep my boundaries. I don't want to overstep my boundaries on what I can say. Because this is a very deep subject, and it's a very dangerous subject. And I don't want to mislead nobody. But I want you youngins as well as the elderly to understand everything on the internet is not always what it says or claims to be. There's many things out there that'll say, well, it's the end of the sale. We're going to sell this for just a little bit. It's a closeout sale. Be very careful, because you may wind up having to pay the rest of your life for something that somebody scammed you on. Young ladies and young men of all ages, I want to say this and try not to be rude or perverted in saying it. As my grandmama used to say, and this goes for the boys as well as the girls, she used to tell her daughters and her granddaughters and great-granddaughters, nieces and all that, if you don't want the manfolk to talk about your goodies, then don't put your goodies out there where the man folk can see them. Wear presentable clothing. Wear clothing that covers up your body parts that don't need to be seen, that don't need to be shared. And that goes for the guys too. Wear some decent clothes. Pull up your gosh darn britches, put a belt on, tighten it up. Nobody wants to see your BBDs, your Hanes, your boxers, your briefs, or your Georges or whatever, or your bare butt. Be presentable, be decent. Good grief. If you don't want the women folk talking about you, tell you same thing Grandma used to tell the young ladies. Don't put your goodies out there. You don't want them talking about them. You don't want them seen and talked about. Don't put them out there. There is a very fine line in being decent and then being perverted. Now, to me, a beautiful woman is a woman that presents herself in a well behavior, that dresses appropriately. The less I see of a woman, to me, makes her more desirable. And I'm going to tell you, as the old saying used to be, or used to be said, I haven't heard it in a while, but it used to be said quite often. Beauty is only skin deep, but ugly is to the bone. I know many people, and this goes for the girls and the boys, I know many people that are good looking to others. Now, I'm going to tell you, I ain't never seen nothing good looking on a man that I'd want to kiss. Let's get that straight, right off the bat. But what I'm trying to say is, there's many out there that to others are desirable and good looking. But their personalities and the way they talk to people and the way they deal with people just makes them plumb ugly to the bone. That goes for the girls and the guys. I've seen many girls that were very pretty young ladies, but when they started speaking and they started condoning themselves in the way that they do, they became very ugly to me. Then I've seen those that people claim are less desirable, and I fall into that one by probably at the bottom of the barrel when you get to scraping where I'm at. But what I'm trying to say is that are very pretty people, because their personalities and their manner of how they conduct themselves makes them a nice person to be around. Like I said, beauty is only skin deep, but ugly's to the bone and plumb through the soul. One more I want to talk about. I grew up in the days of when, tattoos were popular. And I grew up, got my first one, I was probably about 11, 12-year-old. Let me remind you this, don't put nothing on your body that you'll regret when you get older. Don't put somebody's name on you and brand you, because it ain't gonna be fun when you got Eva on your arm, but you married to a Stacy. And remember this one that I hear quite often. A butterfly on your back becomes a buzzard in your crack because things do drop and things do move. My daddy had one tattoo that I know of, was some initials. He put it on his upper arm, and by the time he died, it had basically moved almost to his elbow, where he shrunk in size and everything. Be careful what you put on you. You may regret it when you get older. Everything that you see is not always what it really is. How many people have went to a car lot to get a car? Oh man, that's a good looking car. That's sharp. Get to going down the road, drives good. So you buy it. You get home and you're over the high and buying a new vehicle. You calm down, you start looking, and you go to noticing, this ain't right, that ain't right, this don't work, that don't work. I've done it quite often. Get one and get home, find out, I boo-booed again. But that's just part of life. Like I said, is it what it is? Is it what it is? Or isn't it? Is it? It is what it is? Or is it? Not everything seems, not everything turns out to be what it looks like or what it seems to be. My point I'm trying to make, and I tried to make to this young man last night, be careful. Be careful. Don't let yourself get trapped into something you can't get out of. Don't let yourself get trapped into something that might cost you your life or somebody else's. Be careful. Not everything is what it is. Many things are disguised. You use honey and sugar water, you draw flies. You put that honey and sugar water in a jug, and the flies can fly in, but they can't fly out. We used to have some of them old glass ones where the bottom had a hole in it, but it was looped so that when you could pour sugar water in it, and it would lay around the edges of that little engroved tubing. The flies could go in, but they couldn't get back out. All right. To a mouse trap looks good because it's got cheese on it. There's many mice traps that are set for humans too, except the bait ain't cheese. It could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be a woman or a man, a car or a home. There's many ways to bait somebody, to get them out in the open, and then you're gone. You take a mouse trap, put some cheese on it. To the mouse, the cheese looks good. He watches the cheese. He don't concentrate on the trap. And the next thing he knows, he dead. Because he done throwed that trap, and that metal bar done crushed his skull or something. Here's another one. Way that a lot of hog hunters hunt hogs is they will set up a metal gate circle and leave the gate open. They'll leave it where the hogs can see through, and they'll put the feed out in the middle of it. Hog comes in, you come up, it runs out. Well, then you start putting brush around that circle of metal gates. They see the feed out in the center, and they see all the brush around. I used to make rabbit boxes like that, where the rabbits would see the feed, but they'd also see on the other side. They could see through. They would think that it was safe to go in and get the feed. Well, you take these circles, and then you start adding, you go down there when ain't no hogs around, you start adding brush around it where it covers the outside. It makes them focus on that feed more and more. They go in and out eating, and they don't pay attention to their surroundings after a while. Humans are the same way. Humans will act in the same way. They see something they want and they desire to have it. They lose track of what's around them. And then after a while, they get in there. You run up, shut the gate, you got the hogs. Well, that's the way it is with people. That's how they trap them. They get you focused on what you want instead of your surroundings. And then, before you know it, they run up and shut the gate on you, and you can't get out. You're trapped. Don't walk off into a holler you can't climb back out of. Don't walk into a dark alley, because you may not come back out of it. You never know what's hid in there. I walked a lot of dark alleys as a child. The only reason why I made them, the good Lord watched over me. Because there's many times I walked into some alleys I shouldn't have walked out of. But by the grace of God, I was allowed to. Be careful. That's the point I'm trying to make, and that's the point I was trying to make to this young fellow. And as I got to thinking about it coming home last night, it just kept tearing at my heart, and it just kept aggravating me that there's so many out there that play head games with other people just for the fun of it. They'll set up a Facebook making them look like they're either a good-looking woman or to a woman a good-looking guy. Like I said, I ain't never seen nothing good up looking on a man myself. But the point I'm trying to make is be careful. That's the point I'm trying to make, is be careful. And that's what I was trying to tell this young man. And all he keeps saying, I've seen the pictures, I've seen the pictures. Just because you see the pictures don't mean that's what it is on the other side. Be careful. That's the point I'm trying to make. Be careful. Young ladies, be careful how you dress. Dress appropriate. Don't let your goodies hang out for the world to see. Old folks used to say, the old country folk, hillbilly folk, mountain folk that I come from and grew up with used to say, a whistling woman and a crowing hen wind up in the pot. Now, I'm going to try and break it down a little bit. They wind up into the cooking pot, the cooking stool. Because the old folks used to, if there was a hen or rooster that crowed all the time and got on their nerves, the Jenny wound up in either the frying skillet or they wound up in the cooking pot, boiling water and made dumplings out of. A whistling woman, back in the older days, they wouldn't allow the young ladies to whistle because it was inappropriate. It was considered inappropriate for a well uh, taught young lady to whistle because it was, in their eyes, of a way of being a loose girl, a loose girl. And I hope I don't have to explain that one. But they used to say a whistling woman and a crowing hen both wind up in the pot. They wind up in trouble, serious trouble. Don't put yourself in that position. Don't let people lead you off into something that you won't be able to get back out of. That's what I'm trying to say when I say don't walk off into a holler or valley that you can't crawl back up out of. Don't go into a dark alley because you don't know what's in there. It could be somebody with a ball bat, a lug wrench, a gun, a knife. You never know what's in them dark alleys waiting to rob you, to abuse you, to kill you. Be careful. It's good. It's all good and fun till somebody gets hurt or somebody loses their life. That's the point I'm trying to make. Be careful. Is it what it is? Or isn't it? It is what it is? Or is it? It is what it is, or is it? Truly. Are they what they say they are, or are they not? God bless you.